Welcome to the Sloppy Toppy Chicken Bowl Studios. It's your boy Steve-O. You can find me on Twitter at Drunk Shy Sox Fan. And joining me, as always, my very hated co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hated by who?
Hated by
You.
BGR.
Yo,
and
who gives a fuck about that?
Me on Christian holidays.
What's going on? It's your boy Carrie. You can find me on Twitter at *BaseByFan. *BaseByFan. And
with two eyes.
We got a special Chicken Bowl edition of, Believe in the Southside today. It's Easter, and I was celebrating Passover. So, something, either one of our dinners, something was rising. So, you know what? That's what we can be in common, Steve. All right.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's poetic right there. Speaking of waxing poetic, let's talk some White Sox baseball. They have not been waxing poetic at all. Yes, he was late because he was reading the Torah. Actually, I think it was because he was doing his fifth carpet rollout of the day.
Yeah, it was my second bar mitzvah.
Oh,
like MJF.
I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah. That's amazing. Carrie, what's it going to take for the White Sox to muster up some magic here at 4-6? Mm-hmm. Let's give a first off your just general breakdown of what you've seen so far.
Yeah, 4-6, but like I gotta be honest. Like, yeah, a couple games ago was pretty bad. Some pretty piss poor pitching performances by Kopech and then Lynn, and then it was Giolito, right? But besides that, they really haven't played bad baseball. Like, they really haven't. Today was, couldn't score a run, but the past couple of games, you're scoring, 9+, 10+ runs. So, it was nice to see the pitching, kind of improve today with Kopech and Diekman and some of these relievers. But I don't know. I feel like 4-6 isn't really what their record's showing that they've done. I think they're a little bit better than that. To be honest,
do you think they're a 500 ball club again?
It's like 6-4, man. Like, that's what I honestly think. But some bad lucks happen. But I think I read like Mailman Jack's tweet. He just said like he thinks they're going to be in first place by Memorial Day. So I tend to agree with that.
I can see that. One thing to think about right now is that we look at the standings of the AL Central right now, and who's in first place?
I don't even fucking know who is in first place. The Twins.
The Minnesota fucking Twins are in first place in the AL Central, right? And that's exactly how I feel about it. Is this team going to keep flirting with 500, Carrie? Do you think yes, no? Is this going to be just like last year? Is it too soon to tell? Or
I hope not. I think it's too soon to tell, but I do. I think it could happen, Sal. I do.
So our guy Sal in the comments said, "Do you see a 10-game winning streak happen?"
Yeah, and I do think that could happen because of just the way the pitching's not the pitching, the hitting. How it's like really like they're like number one or third, like first, second, or third in like every stat this year. I was talking to our boy Alex Root about it, but like the hitting's there, the pitching, and I know Senor, asked if we still feel great about the starting pitching. Yes, I do. Nothing's changed from that opinion. I mean, look what they did against the Astros, and then what Kopech did today. I'm not worried at all. I mean, they're not going to be letting up 7+ runs like they did those 3 games, which is probably what he's referencing. So to my point is I think they could, go on like a 10-game winning streak, because if the hitting's doing well and the pitching level's off, you're looking at a good baseball team. So.
Absolutely. I mean, look at what the offense has done so far. And when you have an offense that's putting up, outside of today, outside of getting blanked by the Pittsburgh fucking Pirates in a series finale, outside of that, you look at what this offense has been able to do, and it's pretty promising, okay? Mm-hmm. Especially when you think about how this offense, one of the pieces that they've built themselves around is Eloy fucking Jimenez, and he can't stay healthy and he can't stay on the field. And instead, you're plugging in now Oscar Colas, who is, in my opinion, now solidified himself as an everyday starter. Mm-hmm. There should be zero question about Oscar Colas being an everyday starter because he's had the exposure in major league levels in other countries. Mm-hmm. He raked in AA and AAA last year, and he's coming back or is coming into the major league setting and Major League Baseball, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
He's hitting above league average. He's doing a fantastic job. And I guess you could say maybe promising like 2022. Let's go there. Okay. We're how many games into the season, Carrie?
It's been like 8 fucking games.
10 fucking games.
10, whatever. How many?
Okay?
Yeah.
We are basically 1/16 into the season. Okay. A little under 1/16. How many games before last season or the year before were played in the NFL season? How many games? How many games did a team play? 16 games.
Yeah.
Okay. This is like judging an NFL team based off of one game.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's like judging the Bears after they beat the Niners, and you're like, this team's gonna be good, and they
exactly. That's a fucking amazing comparison right there, right? We're like, oh crap, like
this could be different. Yeah.
Right. And you can say, I mean, if you want to chalk it up to the White Sox being unlucky in some of these things, I don't know if I can necessarily chalk it up to that. Let's dive into that in a second. First, I want you to talk about what's giving you hope and what's giving you optimism, because I think you're more on the optimism side, because you're saying, yeah, this is a team that should still finish above 500.
Yeah, I'm gonna just share kind of what Mailman Jack said. This is our second Mailman Jack, second time I've mentioned his name now. Jack, I was saying how I saw your tweet about how they're going to be in first place by Memorial Day, and what's going into that is the hitting. I mean, I looked at their OBPs. Look at last year compared to this year with the hitting at this time of the year.
Huge improvement.
Completely fucking different approach. I mean, like Luis Roberts hitting the tear off the ball. I mean, they don't even have Eloy, but you look at their OBPs. Only one guy's like looks at Elvis Andrews he looks fucking horrible, but like everybody else is Yoan and Vaughn and Tim Anderson's even walking, and that's why I think there's optimism here. Is last year the pitching was the strong point, and so far the hitting is kind of the strong point, and the hitting just never came last year. So that's why I think when the pitching levels off, because it will. It's not going to be this bad all year. And if it is, I'll eat my words, but there's no fucking way it could be this bad. 7 runs a game. Sorry. That's why I'm optimistic. So
yeah, absolutely. I absolutely believe you that the pitching cannot get much worse, especially from the bullpen. I mean, look at those ERAs across the board throughout the entire bullpen. Everybody's been fucking lit up. Okay. And you think about even a guy like Lucas Giolito, right? There's no way that he has the outing he did in Pittsburgh every single time around. At least in my opinion. He got lucky in Houston. He didn't get lucky in Pittsburgh, and I'm hoping that there's something that clicks with him. I think just getting into that midseason form for him. For me, for the positive, let's start with today. Michael Kopech, okay? Home opener looked fucking awful, right? And a lot of people are saying, with the way he got lit up that one inning, he may have been tipping pitches. That might have been the case. On top of that, one thing that we talk about with Kopech is the velocity. The velocity was up a little bit more today. A couple miles an hour on the fastball. Okay. That couple miles an hour also adds to, you get more spin rate on that ball. You're going to become a lot more difficult to hit. Yes, there were some deep flies that he gave up that I don't necessarily like, but that's the name of the game. If you can get guys to fly out, it's better to fly out than to line out. You want to give up more fly balls and ground balls than you do line drives. Okay. And that's what Michael Kopech did today. He got the fly ball. More positives. Dylan Cease. I know it wasn't the best outing against San Francisco, but all things considered, especially with the illness that we were chalking things up to, and I know he had the control issues. I mean, we don't expect Dylan Cease to go out there and only give up 2 walks a game. Okay. Control has always been a thing for him. Right. That's hilarious, Jim. Sean Patrick needs to be a guest. Absolutely. After the lawsuit, as Sal says, his lawyers are coming after everybody. I said his. Mike Clevenger. Let's talk about Mike Clevenger. And you know what? This is all right now. I'm just talking about the starting rotation. I have just been talking about the starting rotation, which is something that Senor said right here. Do you guys feel great about the starting pitching guys? I don't necessarily feel great right now, but I'm not going to write everybody off.
Yeah.
Clevenger looked decent against Houston, pretty good against Houston. And then I know he gave up 4 earned over 5 1/3 against Pittsburgh, but this is a Pittsburgh lineup that was red hot the first 2 games of the series. And if he's going to hold them to 5, if he's going to hold a red hot offense to 5 1/3 or 4 runs over 5 1/3, I'll take it. I already highlighted Colas. Luis looks like an all-star. Yohan had a bad game today, but he still looks really good. Not to mention the bench guys.
Kevin Sheets.
Sheets has been decent.
Jake Berger.
Sebi Zavala even stepping
Hanser
in.
Alberto.
Hanser Alberto hasn't been fantastic, but nobody expected him to be able to hit his weight, and he's doing that.
Can I mention something about Oscar Colas real quick?
Yes.
That I love because I know you like. You were talking about him. One thing that I'm really liking from him is he's hitting the ball the other way. He's not showing that he's just a pull guy, which is kind of what was a knack on him. In the minors is like, can he hit it the other way and adjust? Right. It looks like he's gonna be just fine. This guy. So very happy about that. And he looks good in the field too. He manned center field just fine. So
no, 1,000%. I love what Oscar Colas is bringing to this team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about what's grinding your gears, Carrie. What are you worried about? What's got you on the edge of your seat wondering, okay, this could be the make or break for this team making the postseason? Or being above a 500 ball club?
I've been tweeting about him. I'm fucking sick and tired of Eloy Jimenez.
I know you are.
I'm out. I'm out. Done. Out on him. There's only so much like you can just be like, yeah, like it was a freak accident, this, that. It's just an every year thing. It's just this guy's never going to be healthy. This guy looks at a base and he gets hurt. Like I was just like trying to find the plays where like he did hurt himself, and like I watched back then when they said it was him from running first to third. It didn't even seem like anything happened, and then he's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Like. So this guy is so important to the lineup because he's your power hitter, right? I mean, he was one of the best hitters in baseball last year when healthy. The point is he's never fucking healthy. So like, I'm just sick and I don't know. I'm out.
So there you go. Our guy Sal in the comments saying 4/9/23. Carey is officially out on Eloy Jimenez.
The best attribute is availability, and he's just never there. He's never there. I don't get it.
I just don't get it.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, fuck. It's so frustrating.
I don't know if I'm necessarily ready to say I'm out on Eloy Jimenez. I will say this. This team can no longer depend on Eloy Jimenez to provide consistent numbers for them.
But it's tough with that, how much he makes too. You got to
absolutely. And that's a Rick Hahn failure right there, to offer money to a guy who had shown already that he had injury issues or mobility issues. And then you offered him an enormous contract did they offer it to him before his first season?
No, it was before his first season. Yeah.
It was before his first
season. So they didn't really know about the injuries yet.
They didn't, but like even I got to watch him play in Charlotte. The mobility in the outfield, it's like this guy is, if he's going to play outfield, there's going to be some concerns. I remember my dad turning to me and he's going, this guy's going to play outfield?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, look, now he's a DH and he still gets hurt as a DH. Like, right. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily willing to say I'm out on him, but if I'm going to say that, yeah, what happens first? Eloy plays 125 games or the Rapture? I love this, Sal. That's a great question. Maybe the Rapture. I'd probably take the Rapture.
Yeah.
I'd probably take the Rapture at this point.
Jesus will rise again before that happens.
It's very, very possible. I'm not out, but the team's also going to need that offensive production from across the board, particularly from a veteran. And I'll get to that in my next question, which is who's going to step up. But I do want to talk to about what's been bothering me. And first, it's the bullpen. Holy hell, this bullpen is atrocious. in high leverage situations, in low leverage situations. Before I hop into that, who has a bigger cock, me or
Jesus,
Carrie?
John.
It's definitely Carrie.
Not me. Oh, okay.
Most definitely. It's most definitely Carrie. But you do need to stay out of Christian business, like Senor said.
Stay out of Puerto Ricans' business, Senor. Okay.
Now the bullpen is a Rick Hahn failure. Again, you know how volatile bullpens are. There are very few bullpens in the history of Major League Baseball that have stood the test of time. It's fantastic. That stand from April to October. Think about the 2005 White Sox. We already talked about this, right?
Yeah.
3 different closers: Shingo Takatu, Dustin Hermanson, Bobby James.
Big Bobby, yeah.
Okay? You don't, unless you've got a generational talent. So Liam Hendricks for the White Sox, for example, right? You don't give that kind of money or anything remotely close to that money to a Joe Kelly or a Kendall Graveman.
Yeah.
It's a waste of resources, especially
Just bring
when
up
they're
guys
already
like
limited.
Jimmy Lambert, who have shown to be decent, and Garrett Crochet.
And I
guys you bring up.
And I will give him credit. I will give Hahn credit, and probably feeding him with Pedro Grifol in his ear. They said, Ruiz ain't it. They cut Jose Ruiz, right? You cut your losses. That's not a big loss, but you cut your losses. Okay? They might have to do that later on in the year too. And I really hope it doesn't come down to bringing Alex Colomé back up, because we won't hear the end of it from Ken W.O.
Ugh.
Yeah, that is something that King Mac would say, by the way, too, about Liam, but I digress. Location across the board for pitchers is terrible. Did you watch any of the Lance Lynn start against San Fran, Carrie?
Yeah, dude's thrown way more balls than he ever has before. It's kind of scary.
So you got the
He's
balls,
a fastball pitcher.
And then on top of that, this is a guy that's throwing 90, 91 mile an hour cutters right down the middle of the plate. And when you don't have the velocity to beat guys, you can't throw that pitch.
Yeah.
Guys who are pumping triple digits can hardly get away with that anymore. When you're Lance Lynn, you're throwing 91 mile an hour meatballs that are cutting right over the middle of the plate. You're going to get smacked. Yeah. And that's been a problem with the White Sox getting plagued with the long ball. Even look at Giolito's start in Pittsburgh. He got tatted up because of where those pitches were. So I don't know if that's an Ethan Katz problem. I don't know if that's we got to reconvene it as a staff and figure out what the hell is going on. But it's a systemic problem for the White Sox with pitching.
Yeah. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. I don't know what's like. That's why I keep on going to I think it's just going to get better. I think this is, it might be its lowest point. And I really hope that's the case because it's bad right now. But yeah, you come in with a 2-run lead and you're like, okay, let's see who fucks this up, So, yeah.
Yeah. And remember when Lucas Giolito wanted a huge contract from the White Sox?
Yeah.
That's hilarious to
kind
bring
of
up.
Avoided something. You might have avoided something there because I got to tell you, he looks like a 2-pitch, pitcher right now. And you can't be a starter with 2 pitches. And everybody says it's the every other year thing for Giolito, but what else are we going to say about this man now? He's lost weight. He's changed his pitching mechanics. We got his pitching coach. How many more fucking excuses do we have to make?
Exactly.
Pitch the ball,
Yeah. He might be a change of scenery guy. Who knows? He might need that California sun. But yeah, is it time to talk about Ethan Katz? I mean, just like we were talking about Frank Menachino last year. Is it time to talk about Ethan Katz yet?
No. I think look what he did with Dylan Cease. I think he's fine. I don't think, like I said, I think it's just really amplified right now because of how bad they've pitched in the first week, 10 games. So hopefully it levels out because if it doesn't, there's a problem, but that's just kind of what I'm going to. So.
No, 100%. I mean, it's too early to pull the plug really on anybody. I think it's even too early to pull the plug on Jose Ruiz, right? Yeah, I know that comment is fantastic.
I had to.
It was mentioned earlier. Do you miss Larry Garcia at all yet, Carrie?
Oh my God.
No,
Enough.
no.
Enough of that bullshit.
So
Let's pass that one over.
With that being said, Carrie, who's got to step it up for this ball club then?
I think Elvis Andrews for one. I mean,
Yeah.
today was horrible. You know, striking out while getting hit, and costing Kopech almost cost him a run, right? Not hitting, just a bunch of dumb shit. Like there was a double play where it was a horrible play. Like he should have just thrown it right to
I mean, he
Anderson's
looks,
chest,
yeah.
and he looks like he's pressing a lot.
He's pressing big time. He's definitely pressing big time.
Him, but just go along with what you're saying. I think Giolito, Lance, Lynn. Let's go, man. You guys need to fucking get your shit figured out. And yes, Sal, they do. They need Alex Bregman, and they need Jock Peterson, and they need Dean Kramer, and they need, Rowdy Tellez. He is a Jew. Look it up. Like, they need these guys. So
I mean, yeah, 100%. Yes, we shouldn't be. That's the thing too. Any White Sox fan that thought that Elvis Andrus was going to replicate his 195 weighted runs created plus from last year.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's an actual real number, but
he hates everything about the White Sox. So
you mean Sammy Davis Jr., right?
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Nobody knows who he is.
No idea. First face reveal. He just did his first face reveal at the 108 thing they had in January. So
that's right. Yeah. Who is that guy? Sammy Davis.
He's from Arizona.
He's from Arizona too. That's right. Yeah. Elvis Andrus isn't going to be a world beater. We just need him to be decent. To be Hanser Alberto level. Right now, I'd rather see Hanser Alberto starting at second base than Elvis Andrus.
Well, and that's the funny thing is people are like, "Well, Romy." I'm like, Romy's not doing any better.
Fucking atrocious.
He's been horrible.
He doesn't look ready yet at all.
I think
that's
bad.
Oh yeah, and I think that's part of my who needs to step it up is Pedro Grifol. I got to be honest with you. Decisions to go to certain guys in the bullpen have been questionable. I mean, this is the same thing that we said with Ricky Renteria.
Steve.
Yeah, nobody's been good.
So who does he go to?
Is it matchups? I mean, right now I'm starting to think it might be matchups. I mean, who goes to Jake Diekman to face Yordan Alvarez? I know you want your lefty, but Yordan rakes against lefties too.
But who else does he have? I mean, yeah, you could probably put in Bummer, probably. Yeah,
no,
I'll give you that.
Yeah, and he went to Diekman in a close game in the first game against Pittsburgh, right?
I mean, he went against him today when it was 1-0, and I mean, he did well today, but yeah,
right.
Exactly. Maybe it's just a full team. I mean, like, I hate to say guys like Luis Robert or Moncada, or Tim Anderson need to, do better. And Vaughn, like maybe Vaughn a little bit, but like those three guys especially have fucking done very well.
Yeah, and I think to bring up your Vaughn point, I think it goes back to what Jack said earlier in the comments about it's got to be power for Vaughn, right? This is a guy who we said he might lead the team in home runs.
Yeah,
he might have 30 plus bombs this year.
I think
right now, he hasn't had a single home run.
Yeah.
And we're now 3 series into the season. I mean, what did we say, right? We're 10 games in. We're about 1/16 of or pardon me, that's terrible math. No, 1/16, right? So.
But I mean, Benintendi doesn't, Vaughn doesn't, Anderson doesn't, Andrews doesn't.
Right. And that was and the first guy you mentioned there was my other guy who needs to step it up, Benny. Andrew Benintendi is our, according to Scott Merkin, our whale in free agency. It still cracks me up.
Me too.
Right.
Stupid.
So Benintendi is the veteran who's barely hitting his weight currently. And that has been, I mean, he's batting 263,
317 OBP. That's fine. But if that's like him bad right now, then you'll take that.
Yeah, if it's him bad, right? Yeah. And this is why I'm not saying wow, he's terrible. I'm saying he's got to step it up.
Step up,
right?
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, he's got to be in my opinion, a league average hitter for this team, at least. He's got to at least be a league average hitter. He's got to be weighted runs created plus of 100 at least. OPS plus of 100 at least. This team's going to need it, especially if Aloy is out of the lineup. Hopefully this is just a minor setback for him. I really, really am hoping, but Once again, not holding my breath by any means because I will die without air. And yeah, I brought up the AV breakout. That's huge.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't know. I don't know with AV. It seems like it's a problem. Like, you know, he didn't really hit for power last year or his first year. So I'm just, you can't have a first baseman that doesn't have for power. You know, you can't have like an Eric Hosmer. Those guys are just obsolete now. So
yeah, 100%. Or you're going to supplement those guys with. Yes, and is this about the chimichurri steak sample?
Yeah.
Are you want, on a lighter note and on a non-White Sox baseball note, on a park note? First off,
Yeah.
when is going to be your first game at the ballpark?
I hope fucking never. That's what I hope. I don't want to fucking go. Fuck Jerry and Rick, but I'll be there. I think I'm gonna be there on the 15th. So
yeah, that's fair. I might be there on the 15th. I got a very, very long day on the 15th. I have to wake up at 5. I have to get my wife to the airport at 5 a.m. 5 a.m.
Well, it's funny you say that. Tuesday, I'm taking the fiance. She's gone the whole month for work and her bachelorette party. So I have the house to myself. And then obviously I'm going to Vegas in 2 weeks for the bachelor party. So,
right.
But
right.
Jack, this is not my room. This is her office. So she is a minimalist. So yes.
It's fair. That's fair. I look forward to the SmackDown that might be happening on April 15th at the ballpark. So maybe I need to make my.
I'll be cheering Shane on, which is very rare occurrence. But
that's
I
gonna
would
be funny.
Cheering him on in that for sure.
That's gonna be fantastic.
I will go on record to say Shane's really not that bad because of like he goes after like BGR and you know like scum like that. Like not that bad. You know.
No.
Still wouldn't like you know. Be like John. So
yeah. This is very funny right here, Senor, in the comments. Ragging you a little bit for letting go of your season tickets. Were you talking about the right Shane, by the way? Because we're talking about the one who's not white.
Oh fuck no! I was talking about Shane. I thought it was Shane Reardon was gonna. Find him. It's not that bad because he goes after those guys all the time. But
the
Shane
other one...
Spags, yeah, no, I love that he goes after him.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
That conversation was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so the beatdown's going to happen at Cork, apparently. So if you want to be pre-game or post-game at Cork, make sure you keep your eyes peeled.
And you know what? You can rag on me for getting rid of my season tickets. That's fine. But why would I want to keep them?
I bet you're happy about it, man.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Exactly.
I've got a wedding and all this other bullshit to worry
100%.
about. I don't want to worry about fucking 100%. Tickets.
I got 11 games this year that are on my docket, and I'm not pressing to go to any more right now.
Why should you?
Exactly, right? Until, and I know this sounds like a shitty fan thing, but until the ball club really gets me on the edge of my seat. Yeah. I'm not gonna go to 41 games like I did in 2021.
Same with last.
That's
I went to 40 games last year, and that was a really bad team.
Yeah.
So like that's why I'm just like, why am I gonna do that again this year? Especially with like 94 now, 94 out traffic is just horrible because they shut those lanes. So Senor, get to fucking fixing those fucking roads already. But like goddamn, you know, like it's gonna be impossible to get down there too. So
that's fucking amazing. Well, that's kind of our positive, negative. Who needs to step up? Carrie, we got 3 games against the Twins before we should get back on the airwaves again and do another episode. I know we kind of missed out in between the San Francisco series and the Pittsburgh series.
Yeah, weird with it being like a 4-game.
Right. Yeah, kind of screwed us up in the middle of the week there.
Yeah.
So
3 important games though.
Yes. So the my favorite Skokie resident, would you like to give us what your predictions are for the Twin series and what you expect?
Yeah, they're gonna take tomorrow. You got Cease pitching against Maeda. I think that the Sox can, you know. Sorry, that's good.
Gary, you're losing
I fucking hate everybody. I think Cease is gonna, you know, Cease is dominant. I'm pretty sure he does pretty well against them. I think we're gonna win game 2, and I'm looking at a Giolito day start against Minnesota. So chalked it up as a fucking 12-1 loss. So I think they take 2 out of 3. The first 2 they win.
Yeah, I like that prediction. I'm confident in game 1 for sure.
Yeah.
obviously. I mean, you've got Cease on the mound, right? Game 2, we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, the day game tomorrow with a little bit of rest going into a night game doesn't necessarily kill momentum, but gives them the rest that they need, after taking a trip from Pittsburgh to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And then game 3, day start, Giolito. We already saw Pedro Grifol kind of give us a Sunday special lineup, a day game lineup against San Francisco in game 3. So I will, I'll go with you, Carrie. I'll say 2 out of 3. They win the first 2, they lose the third. I'd be content with that. I would be content with that because right now Minnesota's going to be throwing out 3 starters. One of them has a sub-2 ERA, and the other 2 have sub-1 ERAs. I know they're not huge sample sizes, but they are decent sample sizes. Not decent. They're small, but pitching that well. I mean, Minnesota right now is banking on their starting pitching.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, they're banking on dudes who are pitching well. And I think as long as this White Sox offense comes to play, they'll win 2 out of 3.
Yeah, and I looked at Lynn last year. He sucked against the Twins, but 2 years ago he shut them down completely. And plus, I know Pablo Lopez is pitching well so far, but he's faced like the Royals and the Marlins, who don't have good offenses, right? And he's familiar with who the Marlins were because of playing there. I think he's never faced the White Sox before. They have a really good offense. I think they'll tee off on him. I really do.
Yeah.
I think that they'll have a good first 2 games, but like I said, it's just Giolito that scares the fuck out of me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And Jack New York Big on Bialy's chef's kiss.
What is a Big on Bialy? I don't even know what Bialy is.
That's called a restaurant deli. That's what that's called.
Oh,
yeah. It's just a place where you get good bagels and Bialys. So.
Is it what is Bialy?
A Bialy? You don't know what that is?
That's what I'm asking. What is a Bialy?
Oh, it's like a bread. It's like a bread with like onions and all this other crazy shit on it. So
that sounds like a Jewish thing.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it is.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
So Senor says if the Sox get a 10-game win streak, he'll grow out his hair. So I look forward to it very much.
Yeah.
So Gary, as the comment section is rolling as always, do you have any other final thoughts as we wrap this episode up?
Win a fucking series.
Yeah, they need it.
Like, come on, guys. You've split and then you lost to teams you should have beat. Maybe sweep a team, maybe like come out there and want to fucking, do well. And Eloy, play some fucking baseball, dude. Okay.
Your beef is with Eloy, and I love it.
I hate guys that have all the time. I think I'm more mad about his Instagram post when he was like, "Oh, all the haters and blah blah blah." It's like, no, dude, we just want you to fucking play. Okay, stop with these stupid posts and play. God damn, so annoying.
Yeah.
So
well, maybe
that's my final thought.
According to some people, he's not taking his stretches seriously enough. So
probably. Guy's an idiot. So
I don't know. We also had the same people. Well, it wasn't the same people, but we also had comments about Luis Robert not it was a surprise that Luis Robert was taking his pregame, his game prep seriously. So it's just because of the dominoes, isn't it? So
yeah.
Are we hiring a guy named Justin? Is there a guy named Justin coming on the podcast?
Yes, he is. He was just at my Passover dinner with me because he's Jewish. So
Mazel tov.
Yes, Mazel tov. Exactly.
All right. On that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. For those of you in the live comments, you're the absolute best. We wish you all a very happy week back from your Easter holiday if you celebrated it, or Passover's still wrapping up. I think is Ramadan.
It is
still going
correct.
on too.
Correct.
Ramadan's still going on too. Happy Ramadan.
Correct.
Well, here's to a White Sox series winner. Hopefully.
Hope.
Fingers crossed. Peace.
See you Wednesday.
On Wednesday.